Hey, give me the chip, I need the championship. Wait, we got a dream, next to the team, yeah, we can handle it. Wait, soon as I go and I step in arenas, they call me the champ. They know what it is, know what I do, know who I am, who don't understand. Yeah, that's overdue. My trophy say that's overdue. My ring, finna be immortalized. Yeah, they know it's true. They couldn't walk a mile.
People. Happy Saturday. We back, baby.
What's
We
going on,
back.
y'all?
Did you miss us? How y'all living out there, man? Buck Street Podcast is back in effect. Um, Sorry that we've been going for a minute, but like we had already announced, man. We out here really making moves out here. I want to give a big shout out to our founder and creator, Chris Harris. Big dog, you living life over there, man. We appreciate you a great deal, man. The streets been asking, man. They've been
Oh yeah,
asking
yeah, yeah,
for it.
yeah.
So
Hey,
here we
look,
are
man.
to oblige.
Hey, look, first of all, man, appreciate everything you're doing. And first off, man, I gotta give a big shout out and congratulations to you, new sports editor for the Samson Independent. I know you've been killing it. You've been grinding. I know you're gonna do a great job. So, man, definitely a congratulations on that. Uh,
Thank you, sir.
for
Thank you.
for all our listeners, man, appreciate y'all sticking with us, man. I know it's been a kind of crazy couple weeks, man. Like I said, man, I'm traveling for work, and of course, like I said, Coach Goodman, he's making big moves out there doing what he's doing. So, but we wanted to get back to it. But definitely happy to be here. I didn't think I was going to be able to get on if I have some spotty connections and interruptions. If I get logged, my bad, man. Internet ain't that good over here, but definitely happy to be up here, y'all.
Blessings, man. Blessings. Everybody come on in, man. We about to recap all our Friday night action, and there was a lot of action. But before we
Yes,
get
sir.
into it, Chris, you want to give our sponsor a shout out?
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. And once again, we got to give a big shout out to Austin Brinkley, North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance, for sponsoring this podcast. Just like on the football field, man, life can be unpredictable. So uh, you need to count on Austin Brinkley, your local insurance agent, proudly serving the Duplin County community, whether it's car, home, uh, renters insurance, life insurance. He's here to make sure you're covered with personalized protection that fits your life and your budget. Friendly service, local care, real coverage that gives you peace of mind. So let's make sure you're ready for whatever life brings right here at home. So give Austin Brinkley a call today at 910-290-4250. Once again, that's Austin Brinkley, North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance. And we want to give a big shout out to him for sponsoring this podcast and just being just a supporter of local sports, big time James Keenan fan. So shout
Yes,
out to him for
sir.
sponsoring this podcast.
I had the pleasure to sit down with Austin this week, man, and actually meet him and whatnot. And he's a stand-up guy, man. He's not just a JK guy. He married a girl from Sampson County. He has ties and knows of Midway area, Clinton area, even some parts of Union out there. So Austin, he's deep rooted in this thing, man, and he's a solid dude. And then what I was surprised to find out is about, how affordable the stuff can be. A lot of times that stuff can be, intimidating when you're thinking about life insurance and think about, oh man, I'm just spending money just in case something happens. But I mean, look at the climate that we're in, man. Them three children from E. Smith. I think that's
Yeah,
happened since our last podcast. I want to commend all the teams. I've seen Hopton Middle and Palm Forest and other schools bring those jersey numbers out in commemoration for those three students from E. Smith. The game that they played this week, earlier this week, it was it was emotional, but it just shows how we can all bond together over this sport, man, over this game of football, with all the divisive things that we have going on in the world right now. The way that everybody came together to pay them boys tribute and love, that was a beautiful sight to see, man.
oh yes, sir. Yes, sir. Definitely. Definitely.
And maybe when I think Coach Stevens from Hopkins Middle wants to join us a little bit later, like I said, they did that display on Wednesday. Maybe he can give us a little insight on, his thought process of why he felt like that was necessary. Well, fellas, let's get into why we are here, and that is to recap some of these games that happened this week. Our featured games this week included Lakewood versus East Bladen, Hopkins versus West Columbus, North Duplin versus Union, Clinton versus East Duplin, Pender versus South Lenore, Trash versus Southwest Onslow, Midway facing Rosewood, JK facing Acock, Wallace facing Spring Creek, West Bladen versus West Springs, Whiteville versus Fairmont. I have to make sure I do my pronunciation right on that Whiteville. Currituck versus Martin County, 71st versus E. Smith. Again, like I said, emotional game. Hoggard versus Laney, Kinston versus Farmville, Southeast Raleigh versus Cleveland, Marlboro versus Dillon, which was a good one. Lawrence, Georgetown, Richmond versus Hoke, and Scotland versus Purnell Sweet. Now, people, we're already going ahead and give you a disclaimer. I don't think we're going to actually recap all those games as far as like dig into them, but we do got the scores for you.
Oh yeah,
Um,
oh yeah,
Chris, I'll take a few. You take a few. Is that cool?
oh yeah, yeah. That's cool, man. And I know it's a couple that that stand out that I kind of want to get into, but yeah, we'll go ahead and run that down. Um, for the scores, man, like I said, our Bucks Sports game of the week was Dillon versus Marlboro County, big time rivalry down there in South Carolina. Dillon
Mhm.
came out on top in that one, 20-6. We got what East Bladen defeating Lakewood 32-0.
So we
That
got to
one, that
talk
was
about that one.
yeah. We're gonna circle back to that one because that definitely score definitely surprised me. Hopton defeating West
Homecoming.
Columbus, homecoming out there in Newton Grove, 42-28. North Duplin 42, Union North Duplin 49, Union 20.
Messing up
E-
Union's homecoming.
East Duplin defeating Clinton 20-13. Pender County defeating my bad, Pender defeating South Lenore 44-12. Southwest Oslo getting their
Mm.
first win of the season, defeating Trash 21-14. Midway defeated Rosewood 27-7. James Keenan over CBA Cock 49-21. Wallace, like I said, Wallace came out angry. You could tell, man. Wallace defeated.
They put it like a punching
Wa-
bag, man. That was
yeah,
pinata treatment.
Wallace put it on Spring Creek there, 73-0. Let me see here. Red Springs defeating West Bladen 35-0. Oh, Wattville defeating Fairmont,
Wow.
which real quick, man, shout out to Fairmont. Fairmont was giving them a game at one point in time. Fairmont was up 28-27 in the second half. So Wattville was able to come back and win that game 42-28. Um, Big time sleeper. I'm starting to notice here in the East, man. Martin County, a
Martin
team
County.
I kind of talked about in the preseason. They've been strung together. Nice couple, some nice wins here. They defeated a good Currituck County team, 35-29 last night. Big time game against Northeastern next Friday. That's going to be one to look into. I don't know if you want. Did you have any more that you wanted to read off, or you want me to finish off the list?
I mean, you good. You good. Go ahead.
All right. Hoggard defeating Laney down there in Wilmington, big time Wilmington rivalry game, 28-14. Kinston put it on Farmville, 55-32. Another big time game in the upper classifications. Cleveland defeating Southeast Raleigh, 28-10. And real quick, want to
Yeah.
give our thoughts and prayers to that young man and Cleveland collapsed during the game. Luckily, they said he was. They said he still had. He had a pulse. Got him to the hospital. So I hope everything's good with him. Know that had to be a pretty scary moment out there for them.
Oh yeah.
Down there in South Carolina, a really strong Loris team defeating Georgetown 63-12. Richmond County defeated Hope County 48-17. St. Paul's had to come from behind. Another surprising game last night. The defeat Westover in the final minutes of the game, 31-27. Scotland County defeated Purnell Sweat 63-32. And to round out my scores, South Brunswick defeated South Columbus 28-27.
Loaded schedule.
Oh yeah,
But like we're about to get into, man, there was some shockers in it. There was shockers Friday night, man. Um, I don't know where to start. Oh, so let's talk about this common theme that's been happening. I don't want to just say that happened Friday night, but throughout the season where a lot of teams don't come out the gate firing on all cylinders. We saw a lot of halftime switch ups where the temperature got cranked up. And like you said, the game with I want to say was it trash where it was even killed the whole first half, and then Southwest Oslo just started acting totally different that second half and pulled out
yeah,
the upset.
like I said, big time win for Southwest. They're a team that we haven't really talked that much about as far as zeroing them on them personally. Of course, they play in the East Central Conference, so a lot of the teams that we normally talk about, Pender, Clinton, East
Hmm.
Duplin, they all play them. And like I said, they've been struggling. First year head coach, young team, a lot of tough losses. And I don't know, something just something clicked last night, and they were
Yeah.
able to finally finally get across that threshold, man, and come away with a solid victory, man, over a young trash team. Trash, another young team dealing with first year head coach as well. So
Hmm.
definitely some growing pains going on down there in Rocky Point, but good victory for Southwest kids, man. Like you said, last night was crazy. I'm trying to get some details as far as that game goes. From I was following Chris Miller, who works for the Jacksonville Daily News. He was posting the updates, but
Okay.
yeah, close throughout the first half. Trash let them hang around. A team like that, hungry for a win,
Yeah.
start. The longer you let them hang around, the hungrier they get, and they started believing, and they was able to
Well,
pull it out. So I'm happy for Southwest, man.
most
Like I
definitely.
said, man, if you followed football in this area for a long, long time, you know about those really great Southwest Onslow teams. You know about the late great coach Phil Paget out
Mhm.
there, and football is a lot better in this area when Southwest is hitting on all cylinders. So hoping this is something that will kind of get that program back going, and hopefully going forward into next year and the year after, that they can start building that program back to what it once was.
Yes, sir. Most definitely. How that old saying go? Don't play around with your food.
Oh no! Like I said, teams like that, young, hungry, eager for a win.
Yes,
The longer you let them stick around, the more dangerous
the
they
more
become.
dangerous they get. That's that any given Friday thing that we've been saying, all season long. Like mess around and find out, fall into one of them trap games where you think like everything's is gonna be sweet. You're gonna find out. Easier said than done. Um, I think one game that I want to get into, and I see we have Mr. Brandon Blackwell in the comment section. We have to talk about this game by East Blade and Lakewood. That was a little bit surprising to me. I did not expect to see a blank sheet coming from Lakewood on that game right there. Lakewood seemed like they had been hitting good strides. It looked like they were on a trajectory to be, finishing top of the conference. And then this happened. Um, I'm definitely going to be doing some digging and asking some questions onto what transpired. But I guess for speculation purposes, how do you think that came about, this 32-0 outcome with Lakewood?
Just like you and probably everybody else in the area, I was pretty surprised by that final score. Now it doesn't surprise me that East Bladen won the game, because
Yeah, yeah.
East Bladen's a solid team. They were playing at home. They had a lot to play for. So them winning doesn't surprise me. The fact that a
It's the
32,
goose egg.
I didn't see
It's the goose
32-0.
egg.
I saw maybe a six, one score difference between the two teams. And this conference has been highly contested. I mean, right there, East Bladen, North Duplin, Lakewood, and Hopton, all right there in the mix. So really big. A lot of stuff was at stake last night, and I
Mhm.
didn't expect Lakewood to come out so flat. Um, like I said, I haven't got the details as far as the game. Wasn't able to watch the game or listen to it, so I don't know the actual details. I know Elizabethtown is a tough place to play a football game and win a football
Yep.
game, but yeah, definitely caught me by surprise. So and we talked about that any given Friday night. We talked about that maybe possibly looking ahead because you think about next week.
Yeah.
The Lakewood and Hopton game next week.
Yes.
Supposedly, with if Lakewood would have won Friday last night, that's the conference championship right there, basically.
Yeah.
So maybe a case of possibly looking ahead. We talk about one of the biggest enemies to a good football team is complacency,
Right.
thinking, you already got this thing won before it even got started. Of course, I know from what the conversations I've had with Coach Travis Elliott, he doesn't seem like the coach that let that type of stuff slip in. But of course,
No,
once
no.
again, we're dealing with 15, 16, 17 year olds. So sometimes as you could try as much as you can as a coach, but sometimes it still seeps in. So yeah, definitely
Yeah.
a lot of questions as far as that game goes. Would love for anybody in the comment section from Lakewood or East Bladen to give their insights on that game and what went down. I looked at a couple of highlights, man. It looked like East Bladen really had some big plays. Of course, we talked
Yeah.
about their that three-headed monster they got back there in the backfield with Deshaun Campbell and Jaden Lewis. So like I say, East Bladen's a good team, man. So it doesn't surprise me they came away with the win. But yeah, definitely didn't. If you would have asked me Thursday night to give a score prediction, 32-0 wouldn't been on my bingo card.
Right. I mean, like, Lakewood had been on a string of some good offensive displays. Lacewell has been having a heck of a season. Um, I had interviewed Coach Elliott the other week when I covered one of their games about that two-headed quarterback system that they got, where like you can really run with either one of them, and while one's playing quarterback, the other one's playing receiver. It is kind of crazy, but like we said, that goose egg is just it was a little, you know what I'm saying, head scratcher. It was a head scratcher. And I know that this week of practice coming into the next week, like you said, maybe they were looking
Ooh.
ahead.
Oh
This
yeah.
week of practice, I feel bad for those young men because I think
Well,
Coach
listen,
Elliott gonna have to turn up.
yeah,
You
I
know,
like
turn
to
up the
be
heat, man.
I like to be a fly on the wall in that film room during that film session on Monday because woo.
Man, you know what I'm saying? But them boys, they have some resiliency about them.
Oh yeah,
Um,
definitely,
they
definitely.
have some resiliency about them. They got good leaders on their team like Devin Jones and whatnot. That I think that taste of defeat like this is not gonna set them in a state of depression, but in a state of anger that's gonna tick them off, and they're gonna come back and be like, "Hey, let's get this right. Let's fix this right now."
Oh yeah.
So I'm excited to see what they're about to pull out next week. I will definitely be having that game next week on my radar. I've been traveling to the jungle.
Yeah, that's a big time game for that program, man.
Coach Elliott's first year at Lakewood, it seems like, he just picked up where he left off. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
But another game definitely wanted to get into though. Mhm. Let's go ahead and get out the way, man. I had the pleasure. I had the pleasure to go to the Dark Horse Country last night and witness the East Duplin Clinton High School game. And I don't know how to express. I mean, I'll express it in my article I'll put in Tuesday, but it just seemed to me like everything we set in place. That was one of the better defensive efforts I have seen from Clinton all year. And then the other side of the ball didn't pan out. It feels like sometimes they just can't get all the stars aligned just right, you know, where everything's hitting on all cylinders. What were some of your observations that you had from Clinton's game last night?
Well, yeah, you know how it is.
You're an
We
alum.
talked
You're
about
an
it, man.
alum.
We talked about this before throughout the season. You know, we were even when you asked me about it before the game, I said it just depends on which Clinton team's going to show up.
Mhm.
Throughout the season, if you look at all of our losses, man, we've yet to play a complete, 4-quarter game, man. It's we'll give you 2 or 3 of the best, football that we could give you. Then it just something just doesn't quite click. And like I said, we've lost 4 games when we had the lead in the second half. And like I said, this team is a talented team, way better than the 3-5 record. I mean, you could easily argue that this could be a 7-1 football team right now,
Right. I
and
think
just
most of the
something.
losses have been by one possession, right?
One, yeah.
Except for one
So,
game.
like I said, it's like I said, it's always going to be which Clinton team's going to show up. Now, my observation as far as the game goes, and some of my East Duplin people could attest to this. We've had this conversation about East Duplin. East Duplin has a tendency to come out flat in the first half. They've had a lot of slow starts this season. If you think about the game against Princeton, it was 6-6 at halftime, and we've seen how we've seen examples of Princeton's defense before, so not something you really would expect going into that game. So yeah, tremendous effort in the first half for Clinton on the defensive side. Definitely left some points on the board, had some costly turnovers. But you felt if you're a Clinton fan, you felt pretty good, being up 7-0 at halftime. I know Battle Holly. I
Yeah.
you know watched his team, some of his teams play, and I knew the second half adjustments were coming because that's just the type of coach he is, man. They got a lot of experience on that coaching staff just between him and Brian Aldridge. That's you got a lot of experience on that coaching staff. So I knew that the adjustments were coming. So it didn't surprise me when East Duplin's offense looked a lot more, a lot better in the second half there.
They
And
got a good smash and dash over there with
oh yeah,
Davis
definitely, definitely.
and Hall. They got a nice
But
little smash and dash over there for sure.
you was hoping like we talked about before, a hungry team, hungry for a victory. I was like, well, if
Mhm.
we could just stick around to the fourth quarter, and it was 13-13 going into that last quarter, and we had our opportunities. Just then, the ball just didn't bounce our way, and then of course, shout out to DJ Davis, outstanding
Yeah.
athlete for East Duplin. We
Yeah.
talk about, I forgot which coach said it, man. Big time players make big time plays in big games, and he
Mhm.
definitely had one of those moments last night where he had the interception,
And
and then
then turn right around the next
the
play.
very next play runs a 40 plus yard touchdown, which ended up being the deciding score. But like I said, man, credit East Duplin. You know, that's what they do. They got the win. They get a chance to play, pending for that conference championship next week. For Clinton, I mean, you just showed you went toe to toe with one of the best teams in the 4A East last night for 4 quarters. We
Yeah.
just couldn't get it done. So if you're a Clinton fan, you feel good because all right, we're much better than that 3-5 record, and the potential's there to do something great. You're just trying to figure out that missing piece. I kind of spoke on what I believe it is before, but like I said, we folks still ain't ready for that conversation yet. But as far as us moving forward, I definitely could see us catching somebody slipping in the playoffs. Um, I'm not sure how the seeding is going to go down this year with the new system, whatever. But I feel like we'll probably be a mid to lower seed. We'll definitely be on the road, and we could definitely with that offense and with the defense improvements, we could definitely catch somebody slipping. But
Yeah.
um, like I said, I'm hopeful for the future. Moving forward, we got a lot of firepower that's going to be back next season.
Yeah.
We just got to find that We just got to find the formula for that. What's missing and what's not clicking with us this year? Because, like I said, man, that team is too talented to be 3-5 right now.
Yeah. I think coach he put pressure on Miles in the right areas at the
Oh
right time.
yeah,
Most of those mistakes that happened with Miles were when he was getting blitzed from the left side, forcing him to roll left, and he's a right-handed quarterback. And trying to throw cross body or even trying to throw period while you're rolling to the left being right-handed, that's a pro move. Like you got to be really trained to make those type of throws. And this not saying that he doesn't have the capability. I just know that right now that's something that I think any high school quarterback
oh yeah,
probably struggles with, is trying to throw while you're running the opposite side of your hand. And they did a great job of blitzing from that side and then containing the other side because Miles was making plays with his legs. Like he had some real clutch first down conversions where it looked like the play had broke down. To be honest with you, this is probably one of the more solid performances that we have seen from Clinton's O line this year thus far, because he wasn't under pressure as much as per se other games like the Midway game or the Lakewood game. Um, well, not the Lakewood game because he didn't play against Lakewood, but the O line looked like they were kind of holding trenches um for a while. But when you start making those adjustments and coming at a halftime, it's like, all right, well, let's start stunting towards this guy because he's not as big as we think he is. He's not as strong as we think he is. Like coaches will attack certain players. I know
oh yeah,
this.
oh yeah,
I
oh
know
yeah,
this. You
oh
go
yeah.
into that locker room, you go in the coach's office for a second, all right? You be like, let's attack number so and so. Let's start stunting at him. And then you start going at their head. And he's duly made those type of halftime adjustments. That score could have looked way different going into the halftime if it wasn't for that red zone interception.
Oh yeah.
Um, Miles was running his RPO, and then again, when I look back at the clip, because I put the clip on our Facebook page for the Central Independent, he had a DN like right in his face,
Yeah.
blocking his line of view with the receiver. So he's kind of like side arming it a bit, thinking like, "Oh, my receiver is there." When number five, I think his name was Brandon Ball or something from East Duplin, picked it off and almost cribbed it. To be honest with you, but it's just little things, man, that I think is going to come with that team for maturity. It's just that some things, like you said, is something they gotta click, they gotta mesh. I heard a lot of calls and a lot of conversations about that third down halfback draw towards the end of the game.
Hey, look.
I'm,
Hey, look,
I
look,
received
man.
a lot of texts and calls about
Look.
that, and I was like, "Look, man, I
So
don't know why y'all
I'm not.
asking me these
We
questions."
we all watch football, man. We're not. We know tendencies. Like I understand. Like okay, you're going for it on fourth down. So and your running back has been running the ball pretty well. So you try to get what you can, make the fourth down a little bit more manageable. Opposed to just. But I feel like with the amount of time that was left, you
Mhm.
you just got to go all out, man. You got to put you got to put your best foot forward, and that's your quarterback trying to find something to Jonah Boone, maybe going across the field
Right.
where he,
A jet sweep or something.
so
A
I
little
mean, just
drag. Just get the ball in
yeah,
his
you
hand.
got to yeah. That's one thing I felt. East Dublin did a pretty good job on, man. Trying to make sure they contained Jonah because he's our our big play guy. He could take a little 5 yard play and make it a little 5 yard pass and make it a 50 yard play because he's so dangerous with the ball in his hands. So they did a good job there. But yeah, you got to draw up your best play for your best guys, man. 'Cause in
Yep.
that situation. But
And they took some shots, you know what I'm saying?
yeah,
I saw both teams take shots where I think Jonah was like on a shallow post up the middle of the field, just he got overshot. And then the same
yeah.
thing with Mr. Norris over there for East Blade, and he had a guy right up the middle, he just overshot him a little bit.
Hey, I will have to give a and I talked to and shout out to Ryan Sutherland from East Dukeland's radio broadcast team. I was talking to him last night, and
Mhm.
I got to give a shout out to Coach whoever called that screen pass on for East Dukeland. I don't know if that was if Battle's the one calling the plays over there. It looked like a Battle Holly play, but that was the perfect play setup for that situation because I mean it was wide open. Of course, I think they took the points off the board because of
Yeah, it
hold
was a block
hold
in the back.
downfield. But of course, they
Mhm.
eventually scored on that drive. But that play call that was the perfect play call. When they the way they set it up, man, beautiful. So
It was pretty smooth.
shout out to Coach Holly on that one, man. That was benchmark right there.
Thanks. Well, folks, we don't want to make it seem like we're neglecting y'all out here. We getting engagement out
Oh
here
yeah,
in the
yeah, yeah. We got
chat.
some guys in the chat there.
How do I scroll down? It's saying high chat overlay. I don't want to do that.
And that's like always, man. This is why we do these live shows. We like to engage with the fans in chat. That's why I said, man, give us y'all insights of what y'all saw, especially on the games that we weren't able to watch. So please feel free to comment and give us your insights. And I think I saw Coach Stevens said he was trying to get on, man. He couldn't.
Yeah,
He couldn't. I don't know if you send him the link.
I did.
Yeah, he said he have some issues. Real quick, I'll run through some of these the
Here you
chat
go.
here. Like Walter Palmer's, he's saying the same thing. He said Clinton is missing something, and I definitely agree. Of course, like we just talked about, Naquan Murphy, no more draws on third and forever. Someone he says someone got to know.
Naquan.
uh, I agree with Wayne Strickland, man. Shout out to Wayne. With the weapons we got coming back on the offensive side next season, like there's no excuses.
Right.
No excuses. No excuses.
Um, BB gave some insight about the Lakewood game.
Yeah, definitely want to hear
BB
about
said
that.
that Lakewood should not have lost, much less left with a goose egg. I'll digress. I'm not in a good place to speak on the game.
Hey,
I'm
hey,
proud of
man,
our
B.
boys. This doesn't define them. And he also added, some coaches better check themselves when they start film study because that's definitely not all on the players. Mm.
Hey, look, BB is a lot like me, man. He wears his heart on his sleeve. He ain't gonna hold back, man. So, hey, I definitely
Very pleased.
I definitely can respect that when he said he ain't really in the right place to
Right.
because yeah, I be trying not to, especially when it's about your squad. I be
Right.
trying not to crash out, but whew,
Right. It be hard sometimes.
it'd
It
be
be
hard
hard
sometimes. Hey, but look,
sometimes.
like I said, sometimes man, people ain't ready for those difficult conversations sometimes. So
Right. Mr. Powers asked about Midway making the playoffs. We're gonna touch on Midway before we get off of here, Mr. Powers. We'll get back to that. Dwayne Davis said that y'all quarterback and the Miller kid is going to be special. They
oh
they
yeah,
they they gave Gavin a little catchphrase last night. It's Miller time. I kept
hey,
hearing, I
hey,
kept, I kept
hey,
hearing them say it's Miller time. I was like, oh, this boy got a
hey,
catchphrase now all of a
hey.
sudden, don't he?
Yeah,
Good
hey,
gracious.
he was running that ball, man. Like I said, man, we're known for producing some great running backs, and he's definitely got all the tools to be the next great running back. So
Good
shout out,
deal.
shout out, shout out G5 Gavin Miller.
G5. Well, we got a special guest, ladies and gentlemen. We finally made it happen. We got to give some acknowledgement to the great, the Hopton legend, Coach Kelvin Stevens, head coach of the Hopton Middle School Wildcats, who
Coach.
had a big win this Wednesday against the RS Salemburg, Roseboro Salemburg Leopards. Coach Stevens, thank you for
What up,
joining
Coach?
us, man.
What up?
How you
Coach,
What's
coach,
living?
what's
How
going on?
you
going
What's going
doing?
on?
on? Man, it's doing pretty good. Pretty good. Pretty good.
Look, Coach Stevens, like I said, you guys had a big game this Wednesday. Something that we mentioned earlier in this pod, I want to go ahead and get this out the way. You guys carried out the jerseys, bearing the numbers of those three gentlemen that tragically died from E. Smith. What went into your thought process of that, and and how did that just resonate with your kids?
Um, but I was sitting here Saturday, just watching football, and um, I happened to just pop up on some clips when I was playing football in the newspaper, and think about high school football, and stuff like that. And I was like, being a coach now, being a former player, like a parent, I felt like, our kids should honor them three gentlemen because they love the same sport that we love. And I just feel like that we need just to honor them, because you never promise tomorrow. And um, you just need to go out there every day when you out there playing football, don't leave it out there on the field because you never know. So I just felt like, it was, I just had to honor them three gentlemen.
Most definitely, most definitely. Coach, you gotta is your mic near you?
Yeah, I'm kind of having a hard time.
Um,
Kind of having a hard time hearing you.
Hold on, it's probably my head. Let me take my headphones off. Probably do. Hold
Okay.
What
Cause I
about
want to make
now?
sure. Yes, sir. Oh, we got you.
Oh
Chris,
yeah,
you
yo,
here?
yeah, you good now?
Am I good?
Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Um, Next week is a big, big week for the program. We getting that matchup, that rematch that I'm pretty sure that Samson Middle been looking for. But it's also a rematch for us because we fell short to them last year. With the chips
Yep.
on the line. How big is this game, and where's your mindset going into to pretty much the county championship this week?
Um, it's big. Like I said, we beat them the first time, 16-14. But like, from the famous Al Britt always said, no, Tom Suter always say it's hard to beat a good team twice, you
Yes,
know.
sir.
And um our guys, they got that momentum. It's like they're having fun, and then when they go out there and hit somebody different and they get that first lick in, it's like the atmosphere is just it's unreal. Them boys just ready. And they knew that we went down to Sansom last year and lost and they've had a chip on their shoulder since. And
Yes, sir.
so they knew that this week is big. These 2 days of practice coming up, they know it's all business. And like I tell them before, on Wednesday reward day. So it's
Yes, sir.
first place on the line, and it's gonna be a pretty big ball game.
Now look, I ain't gonna lie. Y'all held RS to a goose egg, and then Lakewood came out here on Friday with a goose egg. I ain't gonna say nothing. I'm just,
It's been a
but a
rough,
lot
Well,
of
been a
then
rough.
also my brother won 27 at with rec ball against them on Monday. So
Been a rough week. Been a
we were
rough
just
week for the
the
Leopards.
it's been a rough week for the
yeah,
Leopards.
it was rough for them, but we they was a good football team though. I give a shout out to them. They
Most
played
definitely.
good. Um, they drove the ball pretty good. They just that interception, they come out in the second half and they got the ball. They drove down pretty good, but Milo got that. We got the ball back and then we fumbled. And they got the ball. And then Milo got the interception and scored. On the interception, so that made it big. And then with
Milo is a dog.
Davon picking up that 97-yard fumble return for a touchdown, that was big. Um, so we got two defensive scores, So
Mhm.
that was pretty big. Our offense moved the ball good. You just got to finish. You got to
Yes, sir.
finish. But it's gonna be there. We got it. This week it's a little bit more adjustments. That we've got to do, but it's gonna be a good ball game.
Out there in that Wildcat country, the varsity seems like they're hitting their
Yep.
stride. JV seems like they're
Yeah.
hitting their stride, and the middle school is undefeated.
Yeah.
What does that say about that
Yep.
program out there and that continuity? Because I know that you pick the brains of Coach Grants and all them up there. You try to make sure that you keeping everything aligned and fluent to streamline those middle school kids to be ready when they get to JV and then when they get from JV to
Yeah.
varsity. What does that say about that continuity that you
Um.
guys have out there?
Yeah, I talked to Coach Grants and then also Coach Herring. I try to keep them, in line. I think I got like 20, 21 eighth graders. So I try to make sure we're not almost doing everything the same, but something similar. So that
Mhm.
way, I tell them like, hey, when you get over there, this is what they're gonna be. This is what they expect. This is what they be doing. So they're starting to get the idea of what they expect for next season, and everything. So like I say, it's all about, like you told me, it's all about having fun. Make sure they're happy, and that's what we be doing out there, to have a good time.
Yes,
So
sir.
Look, I'm not just saying this because Coach Stevens is up here with us, but I was talking to someone else earlier, and basically, if Hopton gets this win over Lakewood next week, I'm already putting in my nod for Coach Scrons to get that whatever Coach of the Year award is, because the job that he's done out there with those kids and with limited time at that, that turnaround, that's been benchmarking. Same thing with the JVs from Coach Scrons on the varsity to Coach Joyner with the JV to you, Coach Stevens with the middle school. Right now, that hopped in pro cylinders, and if you're a Wildcat fan listening right now, you should be extremely excited about uh, the situation that your football program is in right now in the future, because you got the right formula. The right you got the right
yeah,
guys in place, and you're blessed with some talented athletes, and it's going to be really fun to watch. Watch this group continue to grow and see what they do moving forward. But now I just want to give you guys y'all flowers right now while I got you up here. Though y'all are doing an outstanding job out there, and like I said, man, if you
we appreciate it.
Wildcat Nation, if you're listening, y'all got a lot to be excited about moving forward. So shout out
Yeah,
to y'all, definitely.
we like I said, like Wednesday we play, Thursday, it's light. We put just the helmets on, and we out there at 4:30. We don't practice on Friday, and then Monday we go full gear. We do some drills. We might just pop just a little bit, but not enough to like go wide open. So they
Mm-hmm.
make sure they get their tackling in, and then Tuesday it's light again. And one thing I learned about Coach Grants, when it comes to light practice, he don't keep you all hours out there. You do special teams, offense, defense, couple plays, send them home, let them get rested up and get ready for every war day. So
Oh
that's what
yes.
I've been doing.
We gonna be burning them out. I ain't gonna throw no shots.
Yeah.
I ain't, hey, look,
Yep.
we ain't gonna say no names.
And look, man, I don't know. And look, I just want to put this out there. I don't know who we have to petition, um, or what, but we got to do something to get them to let them finish that JV game
Oh
between Hopkins
yes,
and East Bladen. We got to
yes,
do
sir.
something. I don't know who we got. I don't know
Yeah.
who we got to write a letter to, phone call, or what. But that game deserves to be finished, man, because the way it's looking like that's going to be the deciding factor for that conference championship. And me and Anthony talked about it. And
Yeah,
for the JV kids, there's no playoffs. For the ones that's not getting moved up to varsity, this is what they worked all season for, a chance
yep.
to say, hey, I'm conference champ. So the fact that the deciding game got called in the first quarter in a 7-6 ball game.
Mm-hmm.
I understand that these schools aren't rich and referees cost money, but it's got to be something that can be done. And I
We
don't
we
know.
said we said that on our last pod. I want to say our last
Yeah.
episode we was talking about, you guys charge the price of admission for that
Yeah,
game.
we got
You know what
we
I
got it.
mean?
I mean, it got to be something. I mean, even if you talk to see if I know you understand the biggest issue was they were talking about, we got to pay the
The
refs again.
referees, yeah.
If you could put the word out there, and maybe it's some ref that will do it just for a discounted price, or just on a volunteer basis, something.
Yeah.
But that game needs to be
Oh yeah.
finished, man. Somehow, some way,
It does.
that game needs to be finished.
It does. Yeah. Oh yeah. You know, that's that it might not be the outcome, but you never know. You know,
Yeah.
and
Mhm.
when them kids still feel like, hey, well, they want to finish that game. It, and everything. So I mean, somehow or another, I wish it could get finished. You know,
Sure.
And
um,
like if East ends up on top, that's gonna have to have an asterisk on top of that.
I mean, if I'm yeah,
You know
even
what I mean?
If I'm an East Bladen fan, I'm kind of like, you know, I, I want
Did we
if
really
I'm
get them?
if we yeah, I'm saying if we're gonna be if we're gonna be conference champs, I want to at least say we earned that. But it is what it is.
yeah,
But I would
oh yeah,
love to explore. I would love for someone to explore some options and see if we could get that game finished.
Yeah.
oh yeah, oh yeah. I tell you, I know y'all had to see it, but tell you what, just because I'm a Hobson alumni and cut for the middle school, but that football field last night at Wildcat Stadium, that Wildcat in the middle of the field, that looked good. That was nice. You know, I give a shout out to the coaches at the high school because that was a good field, good looking field last night. So and I get a chance to play a night game in 2 weeks. Well, yeah, not this coming up Wednesday, but following Wednesday under lights. On that field at night, boy, it's going looks good. So, but I ain't looking forward to that right now. Get past Samson, then we'll
Yes,
we'll
sir.
talk and everything
And
because
hey, we were just talking about
they
it
come
earlier.
they
Let's
come with
not
a chip
look
on their
past.
shoulder. Yeah,
Yeah.
they come with a chip on their shoulder. So
Oh yes,
we come
sir.
there
Yes,
we
sir.
come in there to
We
prove a
got to
point.
get our lick back, man. Everybody was talking about, everybody was saying it was Hopton and RS. I said, hold on now, y'all can't leave Samson out now. We ain't dead yet. We ain't dead
Yeah.
yet.
Oh yeah.
And they're
They
hitting
got
their
they got some good
stride at
kids
the
out
right
there though
time.
at Samson. They got a lot of speed. So that's what they like to run to the outside. So that's what we're gonna work on mostly, and they like to run up the middle too. So we're gonna make some few adjustments on defense. I know Coach Daughtry is gonna make some adjustments and everything, uh, and stuff. But we're gonna be ready.
Just glad that Zaire ain't out there no more. Well, that Zaire Strickland boy, I swear to God. That boy get on my nerve. That boy good. He good. But
Yeah,
one kid of yours, and I don't know if you've seen the newspaper article, which y'all haven't. Grab a copy of that Simpson Independent today. It's jam packed with sports. Well, we had a feature middle school game because we don't get to cover them that much. But you mentioned his name earlier, Milo Brewington, who is one of your main quarterbacks and also one of your main defenders as well. Um, Quarterbacks playing defense hasn't we haven't seen a whole lot of that in this new age of football.
yeah,
But
oh yeah,
Milo, he's the kind of kid that puts his nose in the ground. I think he leads the team, and he led the team in tackling last year. I know for sure. But he seems
hmm
like he's always around the ball. What is it about having a
yeah.
quarterback like that is just that's gritty and just willing to fight and he's not worrying about getting hit?
Milo's a dog. We call him the dog. And everything. Milo reminds me of his daddy when he played, and his daddy played linebacker. I
Mhm.
mean, just go in there and everywhere you turn around. Back in the day, his daddy was around the ball. You know, uh, if he didn't get that lick in, he was somewhere close by to make that lick, and that's how Milo is. Milo wants to be around there to make sure that either he's playing quarterback, he gets the job done, and on defense he gets the job done. You know, one thing about that, he's got that vision. You know, like especially if we run the keeper, and he sees that vision when he goes to the outside, but he sees that vision to cut it back. You know, and everything. That's a good thing about a quarter. Having a quarterback like that, you can I tell him either keep it or throw it. It's all up to you. You know,
You know.
and that's what I like about him. He he goes both ways. Like, okay, I'm gonna keep it or I'm gonna throw it. Like he had an incident uh Tuesday when we played Roseboro. He didn't have his feet set, but when we ran that rollout, it was either keep it or throw it. And Terrell was wide open, but he didn't set his feet right, and it got intercepted and everything. He felt bad. He said, "I'm sorry, coach." I said, "Hey, let it go. It's all right." By the next play, hey, uh, and he did, and he backed it up. So that's what I like about Milo. One thing, if he gets down on himself on a play, he makes it up the next one. So,
Yes, sir.
and that's what all my other kids are like that. They mess up, they come out and get the next one. Like, I know we're talking about Milo, but like Dayron Boykin, that
Yeah, he been
that's a
balling.
stud, and for him to come from being a lineman last year to running the football this year, is just pretty amazing. That's a big adjustment. Coming from playing offensive tackle to playing fullback. So,
But
but them guys, they got the height and the size is pretty amazing. You know, I had a coach like say, "Where do you get these boys from?" I mean, good gracious, they just they just grown in nature. I mean, um, they got that size to play football, and that's the sport they live. And they realize that, you know, this is their last year playing eighth grade football, and they just
mhm.
leaving it all out there, you know, so they can go back and say, this is what I did when I was at the middle school. So that's how they're
Yes, sir.
playing.
Good deal. Coach Stevens, good luck to you this week. Um, we got to get into some more of these games that we're recapping, but we definitely wanted to take time with you today and give you your flowers for what you guys been accomplishing with the middle school team. You guys are the last unbeaten team in middle school, and Lord willing, you remain that way for the rest of the season.
Yes.
So we just want to say thank you for your
I
time and coming
appreciate
up here
y'all.
to give the
I
boys
appreciate all
credit.
what y'all do and everything, and keeping up with the middle school and all the other schools too. It means a lot to us coaches that y'all doing stuff like this, and and everything, because like I say it's you got football Friday, this and that and the other, but when you got it home base, sit here and talk about high school football is pretty awesome, and
Yes,
middle
sir.
school football is, you just go back, just recap, just listen to what we always talked about, and all the high schools or whatever, and it just gets you pumped up when you go back and watch the replay, and just like, okay, let's get it, let's go.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir. All right, Coach Stevens, we'll talk to you soon, okay?
Yes, sir. All right,
All
coach.
right, thank y'all again.
Yes,
All
sir.
right,
Thank you.
later.
Good interview with Coach, man. It's always good to wrap it up. And to be honest with you, man, any other coach that wants to hop on and shout out their kids, the floor is yours. Coach
Always,
Stevens
always.
is one of the few that come. I mean, we'll have Brandon up here, which Brandon, prayers out to him. I think he's in the hospital right now trying to recover and whatnot. My
Yeah,
prayers are with
he
him,
had some
but
surgery. Yeah, he had some
yeah,
surgery done.
but he gets up here. I know Elliot was on BB's podcast and stuff. Like coaches, there ain't nothing wrong with coming up here and giving yourselves some exposure for your kids and some flowers to your kids, man. We
Oh yeah,
we definitely welcome you. Um, I would love to have Barrett up here, Coach Sloan from Midway.
yeah.
Now, speaking of Midway, let's kind of recap that game, man, because something happened out there at the Thomas Sloan. State, no, was it at home or were they at Rosewood? I think they were at Rosewood.
Yeah, they were at Rosewood.
Yeah, they were at Rosewood. My boy, number 10, he finally got it in. He had a game of his life. Nathan Miles, one of the fastest boys I ever seen with 2 feet out there midway, had 139 yards with a
Whew.
tutty on 3 receptions. Tanner Williams threw 12 for 18, 255 yards. And it looked like most of the action, all of their scoring came in the first half. Midway scored 7 in the first quarter, 20 in the second quarter, and kind of just coasted after that. But we've been
And,
talking about, how do you get the ball in Nathan's hands? And Jacob Holland had a great game too. He had 7 receptions, 100 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Big
he's really
Gronk.
he's really he's really been turning it up lately, man. He had a big game against Wallace last week as well.
Yeah, he won that scholarship. And there ain't no secret about it. He wants to be D1, man. Like with his size and ability, and he's been playing 2 way. He's been playing D line and tight end. Um, you can tell that boy is hungry, man, and he got
And,
arguably one of the best quarterbacks in Sampson County right now to throw him the ball, so that helps. You know,
and
I hope they keep clicking at this time.
I've talked about it before, man. A tight end, a really good tight end at this level of high school football is that's a weapon because
Yes.
not a lot of teams, 2A, 3A teams have tight ends that size with that type of ability. So when you got something like he's an instant mismatch, man. A guy that's probably a little bit too fast for your average linebacker to hold,
Yeah.
too big for your average defensive back or safety to hold. So he's definitely a weapon, man. I've seen it firsthand when they played against Clint earlier this season. So yeah, Jacob Holland's definitely one of the ones that you got to watch out for, man. He should be circled on any coach's scouting report going against Midway moving forward, man. That he's a weapon. He's definitely a weapon.
It's a big boy.
Oh, yeah.
That's a big boy. But
And just
congratulations to Midway.
oh, yeah. And just speaking on what you were saying, man, like you said, good to see Nate through.
Yeah.
This pretty much is we talked about it all season, man. You just got to find ways to get him the ball in space and just let him. Same way with like a Jonah Boone, man. He's gonna be a yards after catch monster, man, with that speed and just getting him into space and finding creative ways to get him the ball. That's what you. That's he's a weapon, man. He's a mismatch. So Lakewood, I mean, excuse me, Midway's got a lot of firepower on that offensive side of the ball. Uh, I see what Coach Sloan was doing in the second half there. We know around this time last year is when those injuries really start to pile up. So right now, Coach is thinking, hey, let me get the lead, let me get a good
Management.
lead, and let me just cruise because I don't want to be in that same situation that I was in last season where he had 13 starters that he didn't have for that playoff game last year. So I see the vision. I see the vision, man. He just
Yeah.
get the lead and cruise.
Right.
Get some of them the younger guys some playing time, man. But he knows he's got that. He knows he's got the postseason coming up, and Midway has the just like some other teams we talked about. Midway has all the offensive firepower to really give some teams some issues.
Mhm. Zach Flowers, you asked earlier about how far we think Midway can go into the playoffs. Um, mind you, you in there with JK.
The
Um,
3A, they're a 3A team. Not to cut you off, man. They're a 3A team. The 3A East is going to be murderers row.
yes.
If you make it to the state championship, you earned it. Because the 3A East is loaded with some talented teams, and it's going to be a dogfight, man. My opinion on Midway, how far Midway goes, is how far their offense can take them because you know they've had some issues as far as defensive consistency. I would say,
Mhm. containing outside.
And there's a lot of teams in the 3A East with some offensive firepower. So it's going to be a matchup thing. We got to wait and see how these brackets, the seeding comes out, and it's going to all depend on a lot. A lot's going to depend on matchups, man. If they come up against a team that has an equally as good offense or credible offense with a solid
Mhm.
defense, I feel like that's going to be an issue for them. But as far as shootouts go, if they get into it with a team like just off the top of my head, like a team like Kinston, who has offensive firepower, but also has some issues defensively sometimes.
Right.
That's the type of game you probably would favor as a Midway fan, opposed to going against someone like a James Keenan who has the defense to
Get your offense off the field and
get
keep
your
them off the field.
keep,
Them
so
jokers
that's
love some clock management over there at JK, man. They can keep that ball for almost a whole quarter and don't have no it won't blink about it, bro.
because
They
they
won't
because
blink
they
about it.
trust coach Coach Grady over there knows his defense is going to hold him down. So, excuse me.
But Midway had a great showing, I want to say last week against Wallace. Though we know that Wallace ain't the same Wallace that they had been. Um,
Yeah, that was
the
definitely a
way
big win, big time
that
win.
was a big time win for Midway, man. I think that sets them in a position to to have a little bit more confidence coming into playoff time. I don't like the game that they got next week against Goldsboro, finishing off the season at Goldsboro because I would want to face some stiff competition going in the playoffs. But then again, along with your lines, that also gives them time to rest and nurture some injuries. I think we was contacted earlier this week about Big John Williams, and someone was asking about, where do you see him going? What do you see him doing? Um, if John stays healthy,
Oh yeah,
he's legit a collegiate athlete.
oh yeah,
It's just a
definitely.
matter of staying healthy. Last year it was the leg, and he had to rehab the leg and whatnot. And then this year, from
It
my
was like a
understanding,
concussion.
it was
Concussion.
concussion. Yeah, so just a matter of him staying healthy. But if he can stay healthy, he's gonna land somewhere for
Oh yeah,
sure. 'Cause
definitely.
that's a big
Oh,
ball.
oh yeah, definitely. Hey, real quick, BB. Everybody can read it, so they already know you said good things
We
about
can
Midway.
see you.
We can see it, man. What's that? What's that? Cat Williams said, "Do you know I can see you?"
We can see you.
But nah, speaking on like I told the individual that asked, yeah, John Williams definitely has all the tools to play at the next level. Like I told him, you know I foresee him moving towards the interior of the offensive line at the next level. Definitely could be a solid offensive guard. Like I said, has the frame, has the has good footwork, has the size, has the strength. One of the strongest, linemen. I've seen some of his little workout videos, man.
Yeah.
He puts in work in the weight room, man. He has all the tools. Like I said, the biggest thing for him, and it's like I said, going into the spring of his junior season. Like I said, just making sure you're in, getting the right exposure, man. Well, number one, making sure your grades are right, because at the end
Oh,
of the day,
let's let's
at
not
the end of the
forget that.
day, at the end of the day, you're a student athlete. So what student comes first. So like I said, colleges, especially now with the college, they're looking at that, man. You're a student athlete. Student comes first. Make sure you handle business in the classroom. But this spring, man, just making sure you're getting the right exposure, getting in front of the right people, the right camps, the combines, stuff like that. And yeah, I definitely see him. He's going to pick up a lot of attention. He's going to
Yeah.
pick up some attention, man. Definitely.
You know who I would love to see him go against? And I'm going to use this as a segue into one of the last games I want to recap. I would love to see how he stands up against Trayshawn Ruffin of North Duplin. Number 99 nose tackle from North Duplin. I saw some of his clips on his Instagram going against that Union line last night. It ain't fair. It's not fair. Like, bro, I pray that the center and them nose guards from last night from Union, I know it was your homecoming. I know you want to go out, turn up and party. I hope y'all had an Epsom salt bath this morning, bro. Because it looked dirty in them. It looked dirty in there, dog.
Hey,
I need to
hey,
hit up Tobias and see how Tobias feel because I think he got touched a couple of times by him.
that's definitely a grown man, but I've seen some of our Sanford County kids go head toe to toe with him, man.
That is
Shout
true.
out
This is
shout
true.
out shout out shout out Devin Jones out there in Lakewood, man.
Yeah.
Yo, all three times I've watched him go against him, the two times last year and of course earlier this season, he's held his own, man. So and that's just a testament to how good Devin is as well. So we
Yeah,
got some guys. We got
Devin ain't no slouch now.
oh yeah, we got some guys. So we
Oh,
got some guys that
he
could go
big.
with him. So I definitely could see Big John handling his business with him, but no, that's no slight to the player that Trayshawn is because he's one of the best. So now, like I said, that's a grown man in them trenches. So
Bro,
definitely,
his
definitely.
highlight reel has been crazy, man. Like, have you seen some of them clips where he's slinging 200-pound running backs and stuff, bro?
Yeah,
Like,
man.
they be thinking that they got past and he hit him with that old scorpion. Get over here. He
all I
just,
know is all I know
I was
back.
like,
I know all I know back in the day when he was playing rec ball or even in middle school. I would have been that coach saying, where's his birth certificate? 'Cause that's a
yeah.
grown man. I need to see the birth certificate because
I was like that
I
when
need.
I met him as a freshman. I was like, bro, why is this kid on drink? No, man, wait a minute,
Oh,
wait a minute.
why
We
y'all
need
why
some
y'all gotta why y'all
identification.
gotta? That's a grown man, man. He leaving the football field and going to work the third shift at Smithfield. So what the hell y'all got? What the word y'all got going on over here, man? But nah.
Something's in the water, man. What are y'all feeding this
Hey,
kid?
look, y'all know I'm big on my trench warriors, man. So we got a lot of great talented linemen, interior linemen, and defensive linemen in the area. So I mean, like I always say, in these parts down here, it's how you stop the run and how
Yeah.
you block. So the games are won in the trenches in this area. So we got a lot of great linemen and at all these area schools. So definitely
Yeah.
so yeah, he's
I
definitely he's
want to
definitely
give
one of the he's
he's
definitely
a
one of
trench
the
warrior for sure.
oh, he's definitely one of them ones they say. He's one of
Yeah.
those ones.
So Big John, Trey Sean, I want to give a shout out to Steve Ortiz at in Hopkins. He's he's a big boy that's been adjusting and moving the left tackle. I want to say either left tackle or right tackle, but he's
Mhm.
adjusted very well and knows how to set that edge for that wing T that's been implemented. He's been doing a great job, and I like seeing the development that I've seen out of him. Um, Union, there's a kid I can't remember his name. I ain't got his roster ahead, but Coach O speaks very highly of him all the time.
They got a couple solid ones that I've spoken with. I know David Roblero. He's one of the ones that I've
That's
spoke
the
with
one.
before. Um, really solid kid. Does everything he's supposed to do. Definitely deserves his flowers, man. And it's
Mhm.
another kid out there. I can't think of his name. But they got
Roberto's
they
the
got
one that mom.
like I said, man. I feel like Sampson County, Bladen County, Duplin County, Pender County. We produce linemen, man. We got we.
Mhm.
We produce those trench warriors, man. I feel like those kids are a lot more. We're a lot more gritty,
Mhm.
blue collar, really, hard working. And we get down in them trenches, man. So we got it. It's a ton, man. I can start naming kids, and I don't want to because I don't want to leave nobody out, man. But we
Right.
got some special ones in this area, man. Oh,
So we're gonna wrap up here. Just we want to make sure that everybody feels loved, man. Because to be honest with you, there's so much. There's so much talent out here, man. Where we don't want
yeah.
nobody to feel slighted. Shout out to 71st. I saw Sean Pong was in the comments. You know, I'm gonna start doing a thing, and I would love to have the participation of the community. Where I'm gonna start doing features on local legends. They don't necessarily have to be anybody that made it to the league or made, and we're not just talking football. Like anybody that had a measurable amount of success in high school sports. Feel free to shoot me some names, and I'm gonna start doing these profile pieces on these
Look, that's
people
a good
to highlight
that's
local
a good
legends.
that's a good name to start with though, man. Sean
Yeah,
Pong at Lakewood in the early 2000s.
yeah, he's on
Man,
he's on the list.
number 20. With
Yeah,
number 20 got busy in the backfield, man. He was a dog, man. So that's definitely a good name to start with, man. And
yeah.
of course, I'm a little biased, man, but I know I got a couple names I can shoot at you, man. I got to give a big shout out to my boy Nick Cooper, man. He's
I knew you
coaching.
was about to say Nick
Oh
Cooper,
yeah,
bro.
man. Got to give a shout out to my boy, man. Hey, look, he's coaching out there. He's coaching at East Rutherford, running
Hmm.
back coach right now. They're having a really good season, man. So shout out to him, man. He's been on
I
the
had people that
podcast
played with
before.
him at Winston-Salem State.
Yeah, hey, Coop
Cooper's
was
right there
he. I feel like Clinton fans don't talk about him enough, and maybe
because they
like I said,
came up short.
I'm being biased because I'm being
Everybody thought
biased.
that state was in your hands that year, man. Like
But
NC
I mean,
State, the
but Coop.
offer was
I
on
mean,
the table for him.
but Coop got us a title though, man.
He
2005.
did. He
Yeah,
did.
and Coop was the first Clinton running back to eclipse 2,000 yards in the season. And you think about
They
the
did.
the running backs that have been at Clinton. I just feel like I said I'm a little biased because that's my friend, but I feel like Clinton fans don't talk about him enough. But that's just me, man. But shout out to my boy Coop, man. He out there doing his thing. East Rutherford, coaching them kids up. Um, Real quick before we close out, though, I gotta give some love to because for some reason I've been accused of not doing it. Man, shout out to Pender Patriots, man. They're having a great
Oh
season.
man. Yeah.
That if you haven't heard, that's gonna be our game of the week next week.
Hmm.
Pender taking on East Duplin for that East Central Conference Championship. Like I said, I feel like I've been talking them up all year. I don't understand why people.
Yeah, I
Like I
don't
said, man,
know neither.
people sometimes have a tendency to have selective reading or whatever.
Or
So
recency
I'm
bias.
so I'm gonna chalk it up to that. But I felt like I've been showing Pender love all year. I apologize. I technically wasn't saying their name right. I've been calling them Pender County, but I guess it's just Pender. So I apologize for that. Charge it to
But
my
no,
head, not
we're
my
not
heart.
gonna brag about Pender beating South Lenore. We're not doing that.
But I'm saying, well, it's been a lot of questions. It's been a lot of questions about their,
About
you
previous
know,
coverage?
or about their ranking.
Oh,
A lot of people they're feeling like they're not getting enough love in the rankings, and like I'll try to explain to some folks. It's basically like we talked about with North Duplin earlier in the year.
RPI.
It's that RPI, that strength of schedule. I mean, I understand you don't have that. You don't have control over how good the teams are that you're playing, but when it comes to these rankings, they're people. That's what they're putting this stuff in the computer, and that's what it's pulling up. You know what I'm saying? So, um, like I said, like I told a young man who had talked about it, he was like, I don't understand why we're always getting looked over. I'm like, look, just keep winning. Just keep winning. Because you know what? At the end of the day, the only ranking that matters is the last one. That's the only
The last one.
the last one. That's the only one that matters. So if
That's
you
a
keep
fact.
on winning, that's gonna handle themselves. But once again, man, let me give a shout out to Pender because, like I said, folks think I'm not showing them no love, but they're having a great season, and that's going to be a big time game in Burgall next week. So looking forward to covering
Oh yeah.
that.
Keep it up, Pender. Even though, like I said, I don't like talking about them jokers, man. I have nightmares about that joke,
Oh,
bro.
because the 106, the 10
Oh
106
yeah.
what was it 106 to 83? Y'all out there playing basketball.
They turned the lights off. They said we gotta go home. This
Oh
thing
man.
has to end at some point. They turned the clocks off. Talk about the
Hey,
generators went out.
shout
Man,
out,
y'all, we know what
salute,
y'all
salute
doing.
salute to Jeff Dell, man. I appreciate it, man. Like I
Big
said, I don't
time
know
deal.
y'all. Some. Well, I'll say one of your fans that felt like I'm not, but it's all good, man. Like I said, I know we've been talking about y'all all season, man, and we're looking forward to covering this game, big time game next week. One more thing I want to
Chris,
hit on real
before we
quick.
get off of here, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Cause
Now, I just
somebody,
wanted
we
to.
we gotta call out somebody, man, before we
Oh
get
yeah,
off.
hold up. Time out.
We gotta
Time out.
call out. I ain't see him
We
comment
got
on nothing.
we got to rewind it. We got to
Yes,
rewind it real
sir.
quick. St. Paul's, any St. Paul fans out there,
Where's
we
Charles
we we,
Williams
we
at?
need Charles Williams, Mr.
He,
Charles Williams, to come to the front of the congregation, please.
we
Come to
got
the
a
front of the
missing persons
come on.
report.
Come on now. Where you at, sir? Because what one of our first shows back in August, he talked about that 71st game, man. And he was pretty confident,
He
man.
said he stand on. He
So
said y'all gonna eat y'all words and
so
all this that rah rah rah. We remember, man.
so
This was
look,
in the
we
preseason show.
sir, no, no hate or anything, but we do need you to come to the front.
Mr.
We
Williams,
need we need, we need you to come to the report to the front of the congregation now. Where you at?
hey, look,
Nah, but
we might need Sean Paul on here for that one.
yeah, because him and Sean was going back and forth with the comments,
Yo,
man. So it was something else, man. But yeah, Charles done disappeared on us, man. But nah, dog. Like I said, like I said, I'm still a firm believer in St. Paul's representing having the chance to represent the East in their classification in the state championship game,
mm,
and that would just go to show how good that Eastern Sand Hills Conference is. Because if you
mm.
get 71st, representing 6A, and St. Paul's representing 5A, that's quite the feat. So,
Yes, sir.
um, but now one thing I did want to say, man, I talked to y'all back in August. I told y'all that we're gonna blink, and the season's gonna be about over with. And here we are. We got two regular season games left. Then we hopped into the playoffs, man. The season has flown by. It's been a whirlwind. It's been fun. I've had I had a really good time covering so many different teams, so many different players. If you're a parent of a senior athlete, football player, band member, cheerleader, whatever, I know you get caught up in the midst of the game, but for just 1 second, man, these next 2 weeks, sit back and enjoy it, man. Take it all in,
Mhm.
especially if you're a senior, man. A lot of us don't go on to play football in the next level, so this might be the last time you play this sport in this in this manner. So man, just sit back and enjoy it, man. Take it all in. This is gonna be stuff you're gonna look back on for the rest of your life, man. You're gonna be our age and still looking back on these times, man. I know
Reminiscing.
a lot of y'all already played y'all senior night game, so it's starting to kind of set in for y'all. But like I said, man, just enjoy it. Take it all in and just enjoy it because it flies by, man, just like that. I still remember my senior night, and I mean every little gritty detail, man. So yeah, just take it all in, man.
Boy, no, you might get me emotional. Just thinking about it,
Uh, yeah, man.
just thinking about it, and thinking about it as a player, and then thinking about the kids I seen on their senior nights and stuff, and like we all turned up at the front, but like to see them tears at the end, man, when it hits you, and not necessarily just senior night, but that last game of the postseason, like when like it's
Yeah, when you
over.
know it's over. Whew.
Man, that joint it hits you a little different, man. A lot of kids that are graduating this year, I was first introduced to them as freshmen. They were freshmen, and I can't believe that these 4 years have gone by so fast the way that they have. Um, Watching kids, like bro,
I'm laughing at BB in the comments.
BB up there, yeah, I see him. Um, watching kids like Joe Corbett grow up. That kid right there means the world to me. I'm very proud of the young man that he's became. how he handles being a true definition of a student athlete. He does a CCP program where he's taking college courses along with his high school courses and leading the football team. I mean, that's a lot to juggle. I think we brought that
Oh yeah.
up, in one of our last episodes about just juggling that life of being a student athlete. He has defined what a student athlete is. You see girls out here like Denise Jorge Garcia. Um, I'm very proud of her. The soccer player that she's a soccer player. I know it's not girls soccer season yet, but she has ran cross country and stuff. But she's a low key phenom. Like her brother, was good, and Chalmers that came and beat Mount Olive this week, so he was kind of close to home, visiting back home this week, and he was at the homecoming last night to escort his sister for homecoming court and whatnot. But those kids are those kids are just stellar student athletes, and I know I can't reach to every single one of y'all, man, but a lot of y'all kids that I've talked to, between track, basketball, whatever, I
Hmm.
just want to look at y'all right now and say I'm proud of y'all, man. I'm proud of y'all. And y'all the
Definitely.
ones that motivate me to do what I'm doing. Um, when y'all see me out there with that camera, no, I'm not just taking pictures. I'm not just flicking up for the gram. Like I'm trying to develop a story and write the story in my mind and put y'all names in the newspaper because I remember that feeling, that jubilation, what it was like to see my picture in the newspaper. My grandma would clip it up and put it in the scrapbook, seeing your name in the paper, even if your picture wasn't in there, just reading the whole thing to try to see if your name and a stat was attached to it.
Oh yeah.
Those things hold a certain type of eternity to it, if that makes sense. Where like it's in print, it's printed down, it's going to be remembered as long as it's being kept and as long as it's being cherished. So I want to let everybody know that those are my intentions as becoming the sports editor of Samson Independence, just to continue to highlight the greatness of our youth. And kids, just continue to make us proud, man. We love y'all.
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Couldn't say it no better myself, man. Definitely. Yes, man. It's some life lessons going on out there on those
Man,
sports fields. Like I
what?
said, man, you're gonna take those lessons with you for the rest of your life, man. The good
Mm,
and the bad. Like I said, for those that don't know, man, one of the funniest things I always tell people about my experiences and when I was going through boot camp, like you got the drill sergeant and everybody yelling at you all in
yeah.
your face and stuff like that. And I never flinched. And people used to ask me like, man, how you handle that, man? You seem like you will never be shook. I said, look, I played football for this man named Jeff Saville. Okay, if you can stand up, if you can stand up to a butt chewing from Coach Saville, ain't nothing comparing to that, man.
All
But
right.
yeah, definitely, man. Look, like I said, man, y'all just enjoy these last 2 weeks or however long your season goes on, and put the phone down for a second.
Yeah.
Stop cussing out the referee and cussing out the head coach and everything. And just sit there and enjoy watching your child, man. And like I said, as a player, take it all in because this, for a lot of us, a lot of y'all, that's it. Once that final whistle gets blown, you know, that's it. So just
That's
just
it.
take it all in,
Embrace it, y'all. Well,
embrace it.
everybody, we miss you guys. That's why we had to take this time today to just come back, recap some things, and express our love to the community, man. We miss this, and if we had an unlimited amount of time in the world, trust me, things would pretty much keep on schedule. But we busy out here trying to change the world. My boy, all the way overseas,
Yeah,
coming to
it's
take the
it's
time with us tonight. It's what 10 o'clock over there, ain't
it's 9:47 p.m.
it? Well, he's taking the time to join us today, man, so we can make sure that we can keep doing our mission, which is bringing acknowledgement and love to these kids and the hard work that they put in. So, on that behalf, Buck Sweeps, we're signing off. For Chris, love, bro. Much love. And for me, forever love, baby. Y'all have a good one.